Hear the bluebird up in the tree. Hear him, what a song. Joy he's bringing, singing to me, singing all day long. Goodbye to skies of gray, but I'm back home today. All day long I jump and run about. You can always hear me shouting out, hello, bluebird. Got no time for blues or anything. I'm so happy, I just wanna sing. Hello, bluebird. Blue skies, sunshine, friends that are real. Old folks, sweetheart, oh, how I feel. I'll not go roaming like I did again. I'll stay home, I'll be a kid again. Hello, bluebird, hello. All day long, I keep singing, hello, I'm glad I found you. Bluebird, make yourself at home now. More blues, just because I'm happy when I'm around you. Bluebird, no need to run up above. The sun is shining, the world is ideal. I just can't describe this marvelous way that I feel with nothing but the blue skies above. When I'm happy, future lies ahead. Thank you, goodbye. Happy, happy bluebird, Mr. Bluebird. Hello.
So I'm very happy to introduce a very well-known producer in Las Vegas. And she's about to be off to Puerto Rico, but agreed to come and see us today as we start this journey talking about David de Alba's life. And so I'm not going to say much because I think she knows how to say. I'm going to ask her to introduce herself to the audience and tell us a little bit about how do you know David?
Okay. How do I know David? It's like I used to have my cultural center, the VIG Cultural Arts Center, and I built a theater inside the center. And I produce different shows in town and out of town and motivate different performers and artists. And then one day he came to the studio and he started to talk about that he used to sing at Pinocchio's and he told me a lot of things and I was just like, oh yeah, right, yes, David, and I didn't really pay attention, but he was like talking like so secure and telling me about, I was so busy and I really didn't pay attention. Then he stopped by a few days later And it was the same story because I'm a very busy person and I'm just
Sure.
like crazy running to one to another. Until one day finally I got, really I was ready to listen to him and I was amazed.
Okay.
But when we start to prepare his first show that he did at my cultural center, and it was incredible. That was Boy Chick. And when I start to check the videos, the music, and everything, and I was like, what is this? And then I was just checking, like he was very famous, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I didn't have any idea. And then it was just incredible, like watching like CNN and very famous anchors of TV channels and talking about the show that he was part of that, and that the big history that he was in San Francisco. And I didn't have any clue, and I was just like, oh my gosh. Then I was just like checking the videos and putting everything together for the production for the show.
Yeah.
And that's when I really started to respect him because I know what he was talking about, you know. And because let me tell you, it's not, there are a lot of people that come to me and they say, oh, I'm great and I have been doing this and that. And sometimes when you give them the opportunity, they are nothing close like what they say. And I didn't know anything about David. Then I was just like, oh my gosh, it's like incredible. The first show was so beautiful. But at one point I was like so desperate because he was like acting like a big diva. And I was like, who is this person? It's like, I don't have time. And like he was, no, my requirements are this and this and da 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 da. But I didn't know that who really he was. Until I was, one day I was like, no, you know, I think we are not going to be able to be working because it's like you're so demanding and I don't have the time. I have a lot of gigs and a lot of compromising shows for another huge companies. But I didn't know that he was big too. You know, that was like so incredible. And after we said, okay, we're gonna work and we're gonna be nice, you with my time and I'm with his time, and we did pretty good. The first show was so nice, and then I started to respect him and love him like so much because it's like when I start to listen to him singing, because you know I have seen a lot of performers, but they are just doing the lip singing. And then I realized like he was singing, and I was like, wow, that's good. And to know all the history about the show at Pinocchio, that was incredible. And I wish I could be part of that and saw them perform at that time. I mean, it's like historical, it's like incredible. And but I didn't have that opportunity.
Yes.
But I met him in another point of his life, but the show was incredible. Everybody that were in the show, they were like clapping. Sometimes it's like so touching, then I want to cry, really, because it's like he has many different stories, incredible, with famous people, then they were audience watching him perform, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I really love him. It's like he is so incredible, and I'm so proud and so happy that I met him.
So how long ago was this that you met him?
That was a couple years ago. It was like 3 years ago.
Okay.
Then after that, then he told me I have another show, but it's like he can do many shows because it's like he has like thousands of stories and a lot of different things that happen to him, and it's just incredible. Then we did the other show, Judy, and I was just like, what is this? I really like what he does, and it's like he has a lot of passion, and he's so professional, and that's what I was just like, I love him. I love him so much, and anything he wants, I'll try. I mean, I'm a very busy person, but it's like I always try to make the time to do something for him. Then
you mentioned something interesting, is this that this kind of idea of the female impersonator, where you have somebody impersonating somebody else but actually singing the song.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something quite new for you.
Yes. Yeah, because you know, I go to the clubs and I see the show, I see the performers, and they are more like doing the characterization. That's it, and they use the tracks of the singers.
Yeah.
You know, but he was singing, and I was like, oh, that's applause. I mean, with all the stories, and he's like he's so nice, and I don't know, he's very special. And then you see that, but it's like you see that he's singing. And it's like, oh my God, he has that applause. It's like he is so talented, you know. And I was just like, oh, I really like that. I really like that. Then when we talk about Judy, it was amazing. I mean, really, every different show, and we were like talking. It's like you can be doing a lot of shows. I mean, you have that lot of history. When I came to his house after Paul passed away, then that's a very sad situation. And then I start, this is a museum. I'm just like, David, I mean, it's like, I mean, everything in his life is like, I think they made a beautiful part of his life with all the memories that he has from everything he lived in San Francisco and in Las Vegas. I mean, it's just amazing. Then you go and he tell you, this, because this picture has this, and tell you all. And it's like incredible. You can be talking to him for hours, days. I mean, that's incredible. And then it's like, if you find the correct audience, it's like they will love it. They can be there for hours, because that happened in the shows. It's like he started to tell them about the different anecdotes, and it's like, and the people didn't want to leave. I mean, he finished the show, but and then they want to ask, and tell me about this, and he can tell you like for hours. Oh yes, because this thing when I met this, and it's incredible. I really like him.
Let me just blow my nose quickly, and then I'm going to ask about how this links back into all these kind of stories as well that he does. Because there's of course the music, but then there's the story.
Can I put you on YouTube blowing your nose?
No.
I'm sure you'll love me for that.
This is what planes do to me. Okay. So you were talking about the show that you had, and one of the things you mentioned wasn't just his singing, but also the anecdotes, the stories that he had, and that's really what people like.
And that's incredible, because like I told you, it's like there are, it was after duty, for example, it's like he finished to sing and nobody wants to leave. He wants, everybody wants to be like listening to him. It's like, because then he said, you know, because it's like one day that specific person that very famous came to my show and they were there, and then he has hundreds of those stories, and it's like, oh, can you tell me about this one and that one? And like I told you, it's like, and that was at the theater. I have never visited his house. Okay, just at the theater. Then it's like, and on the other show, like Boy Chick, it was the same thing, because it's like you start to see the TV and you see these famous anchors from CNN and saying, just remember, if you visit San Francisco, you have to go to see the Golden Gate, but you cannot miss the voice at the at Pinocchio's. And I was just like, oh, that was a big thing, and I didn't know, you know.
So in a way, it was part of a history that in some ways we didn't have the luxury of being part of. That was probably a very different time for us. But then in a wonderful way, we now have the opportunity to pay respect to something that we probably would have wanted to be a part of.
Yes, I wish I could be part of that, and I wish I could be in San Francisco and see the show. You know, I was just like buying tickets for the show. I was really, I just want to know everything. It's like, who was the owner, how that thing happened, how they start. I mean, you start to have a lot of questions, and it's like, if you really love this kind of stories, and because it's incredible. It's like you love it. It's like you want to be like talking for days. It's like I know the people like that, but the ones that will love that is like it's like go and touch heaven and yeah, and come back. Really,
Yeah.
it's like it's just to me it's like wonderful. I really I start to respect him a lot, and I understood why he was this way, or because at one point I was, oh my God, he's like a diva,
real
and
diva.
but he really is. He really is. You know, and I was just like, wow. And he was, all the time. It was not easy for him to work down different things because always he has a nice status, as a performer.
Yeah.
And then I didn't know. I just know him like walking. I didn't know who he was. Then when I start to see the videos, when I start to see that on Boy Chick, it's like the story of the different performers, and it's like so beautiful and so talented and so professional, and I mean all of them. It's like they did a great team. I don't know how they got together, and then it's like you start to have all these questions like oh my gosh, tell me more, and you want to know.
So there's almost like a little starlight kind of
Yes.
history there
Yes.
that we don't have a lot of today.
Yeah.
And this kind of gives us that little window into, and we can be a part of it.
Yes, and and really, I wish like more people know about him. It's like because it's incredible. It's
Yes.
like really. I think he. I believe now that he is big like Yuri, like like it's just incredible. I know it's so different now, but and I think the performers before they were different. I don't know, something I feel. And he has that. He has that.
So the world's become a very different place
Yes.
today. So in their days, it must have been a lot harder to do what you did. Whereas now it's easier, but somehow the art doesn't seem to be as strong. Is that your experience?
Yes. Yes.
Do you see performers in this kind of way developing today, or
Well, I have been working now I'm working with new generations, and sometimes it's so frustrating because it's like they don't have that passion, and like something is kind of like easier for some of them, and they don't have like the passion, the discipline, like to educate themselves. They just say, I just can't do anything, and they do these videos, and they are like famous, and they have like million followers, and they think they know everything, and they are moving people, but it's like they are not educated. They don't really have a specific and beautiful talent. They are just like I don't know. They just.
There's something about that discipline in an entertainer, that kind of passion and discipline to actually provide the best show possible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he has the old school. That's what I love about him. It's like, oh, I like it. I like it. And like I told you, it's like, and then when I start to came to his house, like I told you, like you start to see all these posters, the pictures and everything, and he has a lot of history. Like really, this is a museum. Really, it is. It is like, and I really love that. I'm so passionate about. He's so artistic, and then I love that.
Well, and I hope through the work that we're busy doing as well in our small way, we can also assist in kind of making sure that glam, that kind of what I call classy glam, remains. That kind of something about the entertainers of that as you say, today's performers kind of sometimes just don't have that passion and that discipline, and I think that's quite an important one.
Yeah. I mean, it's quality, and it's respect too. I mean, he's so respectful with his audience and the way that he talks and everything. And now it's different. I'm not gonna say too much about the new generations, but I mean, he has that specific and as an audience and as an artist, I really respect that, and I love it.
And I must say, when you see a performer that actually respects the audience in that particular way, and they really give back in that sort of way.
Mhm.
I mean, there's just a respect that you have to have, and kind of,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Yeah, and I wish more people know more about
Mm.
him.
Mm.
That will be awesome, and then they really appreciate what he did and what
Mm.
he still does.
Mm. Do you think there's a space for this kind of respectful kind of entertainers in the new world?
Yes, I think we have to teach. It's sad to say to the audience.
Mm.
It's like at this point that it's like something happened,
Mm.
and it's like at one point like we have an open mind for a lot of things, but now it's like we are not. It's like we are like 35 years. Like I don't know. But I think yes, there are a lot of people that can appreciate that, and I wish it's like because I proposed him to take him to one casino out of Las Vegas. It's like 1 hour, and I told him you are gonna have a lot of success if we put the show together in that casino. He couldn't do it. He didn't accept that because Paul was not well, and he didn't. But I wish we can do that because I know there are the right people, and that casino is between Nevada, Utah, and California, and then we can get all the audience, and they are gonna enjoy the show. I know, and that's the place. Mm-hmm.
So maybe we can inspire
Yes.
him to get
Yes.
back on stage.
Yes, yes, I wish. I mean, really, because it's amazing.
Yes.
And it's incredible. I mean, he has a lot of energy.
He
I
does.
have to tell you, he's like, no. He's like, I feel like I'm older than him sometimes.
Yes.
But he has a lot of energy. When you talk about the show and put together a show, it's like, he is like yesterday, like the times of Pinocchio.
Indeed, indeed.
Yeah.
So one thing I want to do is just talk about just kind of yourself and your introduction, who you are, and a little bit of that. So almost like what we should have done in the beginning.
Okay.
So if you can maybe just introduce yourself.
Okay.
To me. One moment.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know why I'm so today. Okay. I did take tablets, but it doesn't work too well.
Thierry, because of all the glamour and fabulousness we are.
Okay, my name is Ixela Gutierrez, and I'm a producer in Las Vegas, in Puerto Rico, and in Mexico. And I have been in Las Vegas for more than 25 years. And I used to have a cultural arts center, but one of the things that I love to do is like work with the new generations to become a professional performers. And then I do a lot of productions for casinos and famous singers and big production. I just work with the Bluebird Awards, Latin Grammys. I have been like choreographer and helping production. And I worked for Miss USA and a lot of different pageants, beauty pageants, and anything you want. I'm part of that. But I really like to work in production. That's my love. But now I have been working the last couple of years in massive events. It's like and I do it from zero. I'm always the artistic producer and artistic director of different events from different companies in Las Vegas. Then they start like with 1 day event, and now we have like 3 days, and we have 10,000 people, and I love that. I love to work in those kind of events. Like we start from zero, from scratch, and then build something good. Then
Quite a high
I love
pressure
it.
environment,
Yeah.
eh?
Yeah, no, I love it. Yeah, I'm just like
You like
excited, and
the
I'm just like, yeah,
energy.
that's why I say I'm so busy and I don't have time, and I get so excited, no? Like they have a lot of meetings for big events than I'm telling us like we can make this grow like this, and I really love it. That's why at the beginning wasn't easy for me to get David in my life, because I was like, like this, and he tried to get in, and then he was like, no, because I want to reject him, it's like, he has to get in on my circle of the right time, you know,
Mm.
and it's like but
Like a
and
speed
it's like,
trainer then.
yes.
Yeah.
And I'm just so blessed because I love what I do, and then like God sent me all these opportunities, and I just don't ask for permission. I just grab them and say, I'm proud of it. I'm here.
Better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
That's what I do.
Right, I can-
That's what I do. Yeah,
Particularly
that's
for
what I
me,
do.
that sentence, I want to get that
Yeah.
better to ask for.
Yeah. So it's better to ask for damn it. Okay. So it's better to ask for forgiveness than ask for permission.
Yes, that's what I do. It's like all the time that everything. It's like when I'm producing something, and then I'll go and I say, you know, I have this idea, and we can do this and this and that, and sometimes they don't believe in what I'm proposing. Now I don't say anything. I just say, no, okay, yes, these are the rules, and okay. Then I just go with everything. I take plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, and then at the beginning they are like, "What is this?" And then sometimes they say, "I like it," but it's like there is a specific one event now we have like 10,000 people in each event. But it's like if I ask them for permission the first couple years, we didn't. No, it's like now we grow. Like I told you, it's like 10,000 people. In the event, and it's so successful. But it's because I didn't ask for permission. I was just like, Ixela, we have to do this, and the rules are this, and I just say like, yes.
With that smile.
Okay, yes. Everything is gonna be fine. Yeah, but no. Then I'm bad. I'm really bad. Yeah, but it's like, but that makes the things excited, and really that they open their minds. Sometimes a lot of people that they want a specific idea, they don't want to. They don't get sometimes so creative, and I love that. It's like, but when I present them, they say no, she's crazy. Yeah, okay, but when I do it, that's when they say,
That's funny.
got it. Yeah, let's do it. And that thing, I would like to do it with David. He's like, as soon as he's ready to go back on the stage, and he's like, because I know he has that, then he can give you a big surprise. And when you finish, when the show finish, you're going to be so happy and go home so happy.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Yeah.
To come and see us. We really appreciate it.
Say that again.
Thank you so much for coming, and we really, really appreciate it. Taking the time out. Know you have a very busy schedule.
Yes.
I can also see a lot of passion in what you're doing. So it's like two passions meet. And let's hope we can, through this docu, also kind of help maybe.
No. Thank you for inviting me to be part of this project. But I really wish you a lot of luck. I think it's a wonderful project, and I think it's gonna be